Imagine me sitting in a room with 192 people. Like, that's crazy.
It's my life, it's my right. I'ma do it how I want to. It's my life, it's my right. Simply Shayla.
So the purpose of today's show is to talk about authenticity. Whenever I recorded last week's show, I was having a hard time trying to make sure that I was in God's will for real. Like, just making sure that I was giving the information that I was supposed to give, how I was supposed to give it. I was struggling with that because I'm like, okay, God, I want to make sure that I fulfill the purpose that you put me here for. But whenever I had a moment with God, he simply told me that my job is to empower people to be themselves. Simply Shayla is not just my name. It is literally a place that God brought me to simply just be myself. I struggled with this so many years, growing up in the church and just even in corporate America, things of that nature. I always struggled with just being myself. I always, knew I was a weirdo. I always knew that, I was different and all those things. I was the one that went to high school in a little country town where everybody wore Sperry's and, flannels and things of that nature. And I was the person showing up with bow ties and suspenders and belts across my waist and the beads and all the things. You know the times. You already know. So I grew up a weirdo. And as I got older, I just started to get more and more uncomfortable in my skin. In the church, you had to dress a certain way. You had to, your clothes couldn't be a certain tightness, or you just weren't able to just show up. You had to put on, if you will. In corporate America, I was shunned for like my hairstyles, my personal style, being too black, if you will. I showed up with a sew-in and I was told that I looked more professional, which told me, that it was unacceptable for me to just be me. Today, I'm gonna tell you why I feel empowered to do it and how I feel empowered to do it. Authenticity, first and foremost, is an undisputed origin. It's genuine, it's true, it's real, it's unmistakable. When someone walks in and they're their authentic self, you can feel it. You can feel the shift of like, oh man, there's something different here. In 2023 is when I came aware of that realization and how important it is for me to be myself. I've dealt with it myself because I dealt with not feeling like I was enough. I feel that I'm now empowered to tell people, hey, sis, you are good enough. You deserve to be in this room. Your quirks, your weirdness, your differences, those are the things that God is counting on you to show up as. Those are the things that make you who you are. Those are the things that will also empower others to be themselves. I feel like I'm able to, empower people by being myself. There's somebody waiting on me to show up in the room with my weird glasses and my hair everywhere and all the things. They're looking for someone to be them authentic selves, to say, hey, it's okay for me to also be myself. God designed us all individually for us to fulfill a purpose, a job here on earth. And if you're being like such and such, or whatever the case, if you're being like them, then that means the job that you was put here to do is now being unfulfilled. So God is counting on you to show up and be the person that he made you to be. Maybe you have to even dig a little deep to figure out why or who that person is, like I did myself. I had to figure out what version of me, or like who did I feel comfortable showing up as? How could I reflect Shayla in corporate America? How could I show myself creatively and all those things? Because I know for a fact that I am comfortable in rooms when I'm myself. I remember going to this networking event with my friend Darren, and I remember being so uncomfortable because I was like, oh my God, I don't know because I've dealt with anxiety, and what I realized in checking my anxiety and checking and making sure that I show up as my best self is that I have to make sure that I am comfortable in my clothing. If I don't feel like myself, I'm not going to do great. I'm going to overthink it. I'm going to be uncomfortable. But anyway, so I remember going and I asked him, like, how should I dress? And he was like, be your own brand. And I was like, you know what? I am my brand. I am my ideal client. I like the weirdos. I like the people that are loud and dramatic and just not afraid to be who they are. So I was like, let me show up that way. So I put an outfit on. I got there. I was, me and my little bit of a socially awkward self. My friend told me not to say that, but that's how I feel about myself sometimes. But I showed up and I was just like, oh my God, who am I gonna talk to? How's this gonna go? Like, I don't do small talk. So sometimes it makes me weird. But I realized that people flocked to me and that they came up to me because of my style, because of something I had on that piqued their interest. So literally sometimes, you are put in those rooms to stand out. You're put in those rooms to empower. That is your in. That is the way that people can relate to you. And I want to be surrounded by fly girls that don't care and are weirdos and they got all the plugs of things. Like, I want that. Another reason that I feel like I'm also empowered is because even in the church, realizing that I was a sex addict and things of that nature. And I realized how important it was, because I was trying to kill this version of myself, this version I called Shay. Shay was my sexual demon. She was dominant. She was powerful. She liked to take control, all those things. And I was like, okay, she cannot exist anymore. And I dealt with like this grieving process of trying to get rid of her, not realizing that I actually needed her. I needed that version of myself to come in these rooms and to dominate and to do the things that I know that I am able to do and do it well. So I empower you. I want you guys to really just take a moment to dig and figure out what makes you you, authentically you, not a version of yourself, not someone that people gave you permission to be. Be the person that God is telling you to be. Do the thing that seems weird that nobody else is doing, that, just makes other people feel uncomfortable, maybe, because the right people are going to find you. They're looking for those other weirdos or those people just like them to show up and just be themselves. So do that. Here, more than anything, I just want you guys to know that it's okay to be yourself. I have my nieces and little brother who watch my show. Shout out to Tegan and Nate, because they are my 2 number 1 fans. Okay, they know my song, they know all the things. And if I could give them one thing, because the purpose also here is to be like a big sis. I want you to come to me for advice. If there's questions you got, let me know, because sometimes even the questions also make me think a little bit deeper about myself, because sometimes we aren't able to figure out the things we don't know because the questions are not being asked. So I want to be able to empower that. If I could talk to Tegan and Nate, I would just say, be yourself. Who you are is beautiful. Those things, those weird things you laugh at, the things that just make you feel so much like yourself, be that, so other people can flock to you and you can have those genuine relationships, genuine people around you that love you and care about you and want to see you be great. And that then produces the environment for you to flourish and be the amazing person that God made you to be. So my goal here in 2024 is to leave 2024 with a minimum of 1,000 followers. Those people that have subscribed to me, what I'm offering you is a chance to win 20% off of any of the services that I provide, excluding events. But now it's a time for food war. Valentine's Day is coming. It's the new year. Headshots, family portraits, all that. I'm offering that to you simply by subscribing to me for free. So all you have to do is subscribe. Comment down below in the comments and let me know that you are a subscriber. I will then check that to make sure. And then I will do a drawing to choose one lucky winner to win 20% off. You will have to be a Charlotte local or come to Charlotte, things of that nature, because I don't know how far these videos are getting, but listen, you can even gift this to somebody if you don't want to participate. But I just really want to say thank you. This show is not just about me being a know-it-all and trying to tell y'all all the things. I also need help. I also receive healing. I also feel empowered by being able to talk to you guys. So I just really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for taking the time. Thank you for loving me, for watching, for sharing, for commenting, for all the things. It does not go unnoticed. Like, I literally get a little teary-eyed every time to just think about 109. I'm just imagining me sitting in a room with 192 people. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, I love y'all. Let's continue to grow together. Like I said, please put down any questions, any advice, or anything that you would like from me. I would love to give it also, so I can, like I said, dig deeper into myself and learn something new about myself as well. So let's grow together. Thank y'all.
Simply Shayla.